Alright, boys and girls, this view is a little bit better. So once we have the screen here open, as I told you before, it most likely is going to be a file that says broadcast on the right. So go ahead and you're going to open that one that says broadcast. And what you can do is sometimes the folder comes out really big. So just stretch the window out a little bit, click on it and drag. And then if the folders are too big still, you notice at the bottom that there's this little slide, this little circle with a slide. If you move things to the left, they'll get smaller. If you move them to the right, they get larger. Now, the video files that come out saved to the card come out as digital images, right? So if you notice on the left-hand side, there's a little folder that says DCIM, Digital Camera Images, and that's where we're going to get our file from. Right? The other one is private, and it's usually just a bunch of other like file stuff that we don't really need. So you go over here to where it says DCIM. Okay, we're going to double click on that one. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so I can see everything. And just so you know, whenever you record a file, it gets saved with the date on it. The camera has its own sequencing, but it always has the date as well. If you notice over here on this one, it says 810, but then it says 1115, which really means 1115, which also stands for November 15. So these files on this card are from November 15. Over here, they're from November 12th, October 1st, and so on. So the ones that you will be using are the ones that you guys most recently have worked on. All right, so let's say this is it right here. So I double clicked on it, and those are my files. Right? I see those are the ones that we did, and that's the one I'm going to use, or the ones from the 12th are also on there as well. Okay? Now, once we have our files pop up, then the next thing is basically to save the files. Now, where are the files going to be saved? Let me do this right now really quick, but on your desktop or your computer, you will already see these done. So I'm going to put period 6 just to make this for period 6. This is now the period 6 folder. What we want to do is basically take the video files out of the video card and put them inside of the video folder. What we do is I open the video folder right here. And you notice that the period 6 folder. Once I open the period 6 folder, it is empty. So we're going to bring in the files for our story over here into this file. So I'm going to go ahead and right click or double click and create a new folder. And I'm going to call this one whatever my story is. So let's say your story is online school story, right? So maybe that's what it's about. So once you put the name, you push enter, and there's your story. So let's say, for example, this group here with this young lady and this young man, they're doing a story on what it's like to come back to school. Okay, so what they do now is you basically click on to this, drag it over to this folder, and let it load and land in there. You notice that there's a little timer that pops up. This little timer tells you how long you have, and before you know it, it's inputted on there. Okay, the way we check, let me close this so we can know the steps. The way we check and make sure that the files are in there is you go to the actual folder. I'm going here to period 6. I opened it, and inside of period 6 there's another folder which is called online school story. I double click, and lo and behold, there are my clips to my story. Now, one way I can make sure that these work and these are the right clips is that I go to it, I just click on it one time. Okay, there's a few ways to do a preview. If I click on it one time, let me zoom in to show you a little bit better. I clicked on it one time. When I hover the mouse over it, you guys notice the little play button that comes up. I can click on that little play button, and then it gives me a preview of it. Okay, so I know that that's one that maybe I want. If I want to listen to all of it, go for it. I can do that as well. Or another way is to, once I have it highlighted, like say this one right here is highlighted, I push the space bar. The space bar pops it open and shows me what it looks like. And then I push the space bar again and it closes it. Or the long way is to double click and then it opens on QuickTime. I'm not going to do that because that takes a little bit longer, but still, you just click twice and it opens on QuickTime and you can watch it. But the whole point, oh, we don't need to upgrade right now. Sorry. So now the whole point is to just be able to see that this is done correctly. Okay? So now that we know that it is in the folder exactly where we want it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it from the SD card. excuse me. The reason why I'm going to delete it from the SD card is because there might be another group that needs to go film and they need that card as well to store their files, right? So it's important that we save it on our computer, but we can delete it from the SD card so that others can use the SD card. So these were the 3 files, 1, 2, 3, and the way I select the 3 is by pushing Command on this Mac keyboard. So I push Command, I hold Command down, and I click here, and click there, and the 3 are highlighted. Then I can do a couple things. I can click and drag it down to this trash can, right? And it deletes. I let go, and it goes into the trash can, and there it is. So now it's in the trash can. But before I can take out the card and just give it to the next group, I have to delete it from the trash can because things are still in the trash can. The files I did are still right there in the trash can. So the way I delete them is I push Shift, Command, and then the delete button. So again, Shift, Command, delete, and then this pops up that says empty trash. Do you want to empty trash? And then this is where I would say yes, empty trash. If not, I can go to the Finder button. You can't see the Finder because I hid it from the screen, but if you go to the top of your screen, it says Finder. You click on Finder, and then you click right there where it says empty trash. So I click on empty trash, and then the same window pops up. The third option is I actually physically go to the trash can. I click the trash can, and then the trash can opens, and on the right hand side you see where it says empty. I delete it. Okay, and when I delete the files, you're gonna notice that on the SD card, the actual amount of gigabytes available becomes bigger because you're making space. You're deleting things, right? So this is 17.81. I'm going to go here to the trash can. I'm going to click on empty, and it says, are you sure you want to do this? I say, yes, sure. And I click, and now it's now up to 18.1. So we now have space in the card. We can now take the card out and give it to the next group. But before you go and pull out the card, it's not that easy. You don't just pull the card out from behind the computer. You have to eject it from the desktop of the monitor, right? So on this desktop, you have a few ways to eject it as well. On the left-hand side, you see that the card is called Broadcast. I can go ahead and push that little tiny eject button, or I can go to the Broadcast right here on the desktop, drag that down to where the trash can used to be, and now there's a little eject sign. So I go ahead and click on the eject sign right there, and that will eject the card, and the card will be out. Okay, so that is another option to eject the cards. Okay, so let's pretend I ejected it, but I'm just going to leave it there for right now. So the next thing that we do is I'm going to show you guys how to put these video clips onto iMovie and get started with our actual editing. So iMovie looks like a little star, right? It's that little star with the camera logo on there. Just click on it once, and it will open. So once it opens, you have a couple of options when the iMovie screen pops up. Oh, this is already in there. So let me just go back to where it says projects. When you guys open it, it will look like this. Not like that one right there, but it'll look like this. You probably won't see these things because this is just stuff that I've done on this computer, but you're gonna see where it says create new. There's a little plus sign. All you do is click on the create new, and then you get 2 options. First option says movie, second option says trailer. And so what we're going to select is movie. I'm going to click right there where it says movie, and then it opens up a new one. Okay, you see this is all empty pretty much, and now I'm able to create my movie. So please pay attention to this because again, I will be quizzing you on the steps on how to create this movie and how to do the files. Go to where it says all events, and then you're going to right click on all events. Oh, I'm sorry, I was testing myself. Go to where it says iMovie Library. I'm going to click on iMovie Library and type in, or click where it says New Event. So once it's New Event, then I can go ahead and rename this whatever I want. So I'm going to call this one Online School. I'm going to call it Online School, and that's it. Okay? So then I push Enter, and now my event is there on the side. It's called Online School. So now the big, super difficult question, if anybody could answer this, this is worth 1 million make-believe fake points. Where do I go to import media from my desktop to this program? If you said this arrow that's pointing down, that is 100% correct because all you had to do was read where it says import media, right? Genius. So what we do is we click right there where it says import media, and then it says, oh, where do you want to import the media from? And you know what, guys? Since I still have the broadcast card inside, this automatically jumps to the card. But we're not going to go to the card because we're not using the card. What we want to do is we want to go to the desktop. On the left-hand side, you see desktop. And in desktop, just like I showed you guys earlier, moments ago, that there's a period 6 folder. I'm going to click on the little period 6 folder, and then inside of the period 6 folder, there's another folder that says online school story. So I'm going to click on that one, and guess what? There are the 3 files that we saved onto the desktop. Okay, so now I'm going to ask myself, which file do I want to bring in? Let's just say that I want to bring in the first one and the third one, but you can see that I can't get them both to highlight. If I push shift, it highlights everything. So the way to highlight one and skip another and so on is to, once you click on that one, push the command key on your keyboard, and then you click on it, and then it will jump over and highlight whichever you want. Okay, so I'm doing the first one, which is 6310 and 6312, and the third one, and then I'm going to go ahead and click import selected. So once I do that, the files pop right in and they're ready to go. Now, let's say that I want to go ahead and add another one. If you notice, adding another one, I don't have the same option of the big down arrow that was there before, right? So the way I do it this time is at the very top, the down arrow is here now. I could go ahead and click that down arrow and the same window pops up, okay? Or let me show you another option, right? There's always options. Mac computers have a ton of options for you to do stuff. So let's say I move my program over a little bit to the side. I go to my period 6 folder, and then when I'm in my period 6 folder, I am going to open this. I'm going to open this, and then I'm going to look for the file that I want, right? I'm going to go to file with 6311. Okay, once I have it, I'm going to get it, and now I click it, and then I drag it into this area right here. You can see there's a little plus sign. So I drag it here, and then I let go, and then all of a sudden it populates, and there we have it right where we want it. Okay, so that's how that works. It is on there and you are good. Let me pause right here and I will continue to show you the rest in a moment.